ever watched the SNL episode?
That's it? We're good?
An SNL episode where they're talking like this. And
sweaty?
And tonight we're going to introduce to you how to cook the most scrumptious and delicious apple pie.
You do that really well, actually. Oh my gosh.
It sounds like that.
It's legit. It's legit. Wow. So we're live. Let's do this.
All right.
Hey, this is our first time Phenomenal Underdogs podcast number 1 with Eliot Kelly. So he wouldn't really say this, but before I get to the bio though.
Yeah.
Phenomenal Underdogs is sponsored by Viral Roots Media, creating films that go viral, spread, and take root. Commercial films, crowdfunding films with social media management, storyboarding, animation, and screenwriting. And go for more, go for broke with viralrootsmedia.com.
Viral Roots.
Viral Roots Media. That's legit.
Thank you.
Hey, Eliot Kelly, NCAA Division I wrestler, world champion in BJJ, number 54, tied with Xandie Robreiro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is that
Xandie.
I'm testing you.
Alexander Robreiro.
Yes.
His fight name is Xandie.
See, the jiu-jitsu guys,
Yeah.
or jiu-jitsu nerds, they'll be like, oh, wow. So that's
I didn't
crazy.
even know that. That's really
See, I looked it up this morning. So that's a name drop. Speaks fluent Japanese, professor teaching Japanese at Sac State. He is a great martial artist, which many people don't even understand that term, which I'd love to hear your thoughts on.
Ooh, me too.
He'd never say any of this stuff. It's just not his style. So that's why I think your nickname should become the Humble Beast. But you can't.
I thought you were going to say the Humble Bee.
No, the Beast.
Oh,
Humble Beast because
Humble Bee.
you can't call
Because I kind of buzz around people. I just kind of
you're a beast. No.
Be yourself.
As soon as, if anybody rolls with you, you'll know right away.
Yeah.
Eliot's my coach. He's also my friend. And again, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's get right into it. Os. What is os?
Shoot. Nobody knows.
It has a lot of different meanings, right?
But we get excited when we say it.
Yeah.
Os, I think it's started in Japan. It's a phrase, or there's like different meanings or different origins for os. Probably one of them is the os that was like onegai shimasu, and people kind of condense it and they shorten everything. And it's just os, right? And that's like a greeting. Onegai means like onegai shimasu literally means like I will be of
Service.
Please take me under your tutelage. Like some different meanings, not very well translated. But os can be like a greeting, like
Hello. Hey, what? Like
a short version of ohayou gozaimasu, os, which is like good morning, right? Or hello.
Right.
Other ones that it could be os, people use it as a response. So like yes.
Yeah.
But it could mean no.
I didn't know that either.
Well, I guess you're talking about martial arts. Real martial artist never says no.
Correct.
Right?
Always.
If the master says, you do.
Correct.
So, I don't want to say real martial artist, but the traditional martial artist.
Yeah, because in Shotokan, it was always os. Hello, os. Goodbye, os. Hey, you know what, you're doing that wrong. Oh, I'm sorry, os. It was always that. And so coming here, it felt natural. But then I'll go to boxing or something like that, and someone like, hey, you're doing your jab wrong. Oh, sorry, os. Like, so I just say os, not everything.
It simplifies life.
It's cool.
I mean, that's kind of what it does, right? You can use it for anything. I'm sorry, os. I screwed up, os. Forgive me, os.
We use it here like almost like a battle cry sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
We're like, oh, yeah. Eliot has a competition jiu-jitsu class that I've sometimes attend, and when you guys do that and it's really amazing. I'll get to that a little bit later, but I want to talk about that. Okay. So now we know what OS is, but I'm curious, your wrestling background,
yeah,
NCAA, but way before that, when did you actually start grappling and wrestling?
My introduction, I was kind of introduced to it in fifth grade. We had a 3-week wrestling class at the international school.
Which you grew up where?
In Japan.
I didn't even know this. Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up in Japan, 11 years. We moved there from Malaysia. So I was born in Illinois, moved to Malaysia to Japan, stuck in Japan for about 11 years.
Oh, wow.
And then when I was about 13, 14, we moved back to the Sacramento area, Rockland.
Really? Wow.
Yep. And then I was a sophomore, and then, went on. But going back to your question, I started wrestling, or my first exposure to wrestling was like the 2-3 weeks that we had in 5th and 6th grade. We did a wrestling curriculum thing, and then we ended it with a tournament. And I had a lot of fun. But in 7th grade, I wanted to play basketball. And so I did. Because that was what all the cool kids did. And that's what all my friends did.
Right.
So I played basketball, didn't wrestle. 8th grade, I tried out for the basketball team, but I talked to the wrestling coach, and I said, if I don't make the basketball team, do you think I could come out for wrestling? He's like, yeah, of course, no problem. And then he goes and tells the basketball coach, hey, he's going to do wrestling if he doesn't make the basketball team, so you should just cut him. And I was like, what are you doing? I was devastated. But I loved wrestling. It was a great camaraderie. It was a really small group, but we got to practice with the high school. And so I had a really quick success, but at the same time, I noticed I could see my improvement. So the guys that I was getting beat by at the beginning of the year, I would have really close matches or maybe even beat them at the end of the year. So I learned that sport relatively quickly.
What do you attribute that to?
I think good coaching.
Really?
Yeah, and I just kind of enjoyed being around it. I've always been like a physically active person.
Yeah.
We'd go out and play basketball for hours after school, and I would miss, I would only make like 20% of the shots. So I was like the best rebounder.
Right. Yeah.
Right. That was my thing. Cause if you hustled, you could do well.
Exactly.
So I kind of took that, like, look, if I hustle and I work hard, then I can get better. And I think I just kind of naturally applied that into the wrestling, and wrestling or the grappling sport is like one of those, even if you don't have a lot of athleticism or like maybe natural talent, if you work hard, you listen to your coaches, you're going to eventually find success, and you stay persistent. You're going to find success. And I think I saw that in a quick season.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always wondered how that went about, and I had no idea you lived abroad either.
Yeah.
Maybe I should address this, that I've known you for, I want to say 8 years now. This is EDH BJJ. We're in your school. We're in the dojo right now.
Dojo.
And I've trained here on
hear
and off.
people screaming or yelling in the background.
Yeah.
Don't be bothered about that.
So yeah, we gotta jam because we got class. You're a busy man, but what was your experience like at UC Davis?
As far as being a wrestler?
Yeah, you're a wrestler. You went from basketball to yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Davis, I was kind of a walk-on to the wrestling team, and my first year I got cut. I got cut from the basketball team.
Right. I know that feeling, and I should have done wrestling. I'm so jealous. I should have.
Yeah, you should. You didn't wrestle?
I didn't wrestle. I played a manly sport, tennis. Anyway, keep going.
Okay. So walked on, kind of a pseudo walk-on. The coaches knew of me, and because I was a local wrestler, and didn't make the team. There was a cap. I think it was like 30, maybe plus or minus, 1 or 2. And at the end of tryouts, he basically said, you know, you didn't make the team because of the following reasons. You weren't strong enough, right? And he was addressing the whole group. There was a lot of people. We had maybe 50 guys trying out, which for a college team is really big.
Right.
And this was, I think, the second year Coach Zaleski was teaching at Davis or coaching at Davis. So, and he was a big name wrestler. He was a big time wrestler. You know, D1 finalist. He wrestled at the University of Iowa.
Wow.
And
didn't Mark Munoz too?
And then Mark came on to coach my. I think it was my third year.
That's a big time name drop for those MMA fans and wrestling fans. That's way cool. And he's Filipino, so that's even cooler.
That's cool. That's very cool. He's got that Asian persuasion. Yeah, so initially that year it was, I think, Quincy Clark, who was in the year 2000, he was an Olympian for the Greco team. He went and wrestled in the Olympics at Sydney. And then we had another guy, Coach Zaleski was the head coach. And then, I forgot the other coaches.
You just had awesome coaches.
Anyways, we had really good coaches.
Well, what I noticed too,
yeah,
as a student, it just seems like it shows you had good coaching, because for real, the way that you motivate people, students, you encourage them, you don't belate anybody, so you had a good stock, and so I think that shows.
Thank you.
So you got into that, and then you went to Japan.
Yeah, so
back to Japan, and then you fell in love with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Yeah, so the story behind Jiu-Jitsu is I wrestled through college and then finished college in 2007. I actually made the team the second year. Did a lot of wrestling over the summer, and then let's see, how did it work out? My first year in Japan was 2007 through 2008, and I didn't do any jiu-jitsu, but I started teaching English. I was still coaching wrestling at the high school. I started I also had a volunteer assistant job at one of the local universities, Ritsumeikan University, and that was a lot of fun. So I was really involved with wrestling, and I had aspirations to continue to wrestle. Post-collegiately. In Japan, they had freestyle and Greco, so it worked really well in terms of just focusing on freestyle, which is the international style of wrestling, and doing, not necessarily being distracted by the folk style, which is it's more just American style of wrestling. But let me think, where was I at? So jiu-jitsu. If you're teaching English, a lot of times you're going to find people telling you, or asking you, like part of the lesson is like, hello, what's your name? Hi, nice to meet you. I'm from this. And people are going to ask you, what's your hobby? Right? And I was thinking, like, after a while, I was like, well, I'd say reading. And then I was like, I like to go on a walk. I like to watch movies.
It's like, that's not cutting it.
These all suck. These hobbies suck, right? Or it's like playing basketball or playing tennis, the manly sport.
That's right, it is.
And I knew those weren't my hobbies.
Yeah.
And even though I enjoy, playing tennis once in a while or reading a book or watching a movie, it wasn't like something that so then I started to think, what's a hobby? A hobby to me is something that you can do lifelong. It's something that you can do into your old age. It contributes positively to a healthy lifestyle. And it's something that you enjoy, And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to learn something new. And there was a big Brazilian community in the area of Japan that I was living in. I was living in a prefecture called Shiga Prefecture, which is right next to Kyoto, for people that may be familiar with Japan. And you hear that wind?
It's sensitive mics.
That's an airplane.
Oh, is it?
Maybe. Sorry. Anyways.
But Michel was there, huh? He was one of the first. He was one of the first ones.
Correct. So it was capoeira or jiu-jitsu.
Oh, good.
Right? And I was like, I'm going to learn this Brazilian capoeira. And I couldn't find a capoeira place. And then I found a jiu-jitsu place. Wow. It was like an hour and a half away.
Oh, wow.
I was like, man, this is far. But you know what? It's a hobby. It's going to be fun. I'm going to do it. And I started commuting. And then like 2 or 3 times there, They're like, oh, you live here? You're this far? They're like, there's a place that's 20 minutes from here. It's like, oh man.
Oops.
Okay.
So which one
later.
did you end up going to?
So then I started going to a place they called it Bushido Jiu-Jitsu, was the name of the school. And then the teachers were Michelle and Marcio.
Shout out to Michelle. He's awesome.
Yep. They were brothers. And let's see. They also had another guy named Marcio, or Marco. So Michelle, all M's. Michelle, Marcio, and Marco. And yeah, I started training. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. And I haven't stopped.
You wrestler guys, when you come in, you have such mat awareness. I'm jealous of it. You guys are a handful, not coming from a wrestling background. And it's not kind of no wonder how you transitioned into jiu-jitsu so fast. But one of my questions was, at what point did you say, all right, I want to have my own jiu-jitsu school. I want to do this full time?
Never.
Okay.
To be honest. So, so in the last maybe 5 or 6 years, I felt like, okay, this is something that I want to do. I love this. This is something I really enjoy. But the teaching part just kind of fell in place. I moved back. I moved back from Japan in 2009. This is summer of 2009, and I wanted to keep doing jiu-jitsu, and I was working as an assistant or volunteer assistant at UC Davis coaching. And then in 2010, the program was dropped. That's a long story, so we won't go there. But they dropped the wrestling program, unfortunately. And I had started teaching here maybe like end of 2009, beginning of 2010. And so, and the owner said, hey, why don't you just use our space and run your own program? I want to learn jiu-jitsu. It's a win-win for me. I don't have to go outside. I can just change my clothes. You know? And so I started teaching within a martial arts studio called West Coast Martial Arts.
Right.
And
shout
out. Shout out. And it was great. But I didn't know anything about running a business. I didn't know anything about really teaching a professional run jiu-jitsu program, how to teach kids classes.
You seem like you're a lot of self-taught in a lot of ways. That's what I've noticed. Like you hustle hard, work hard, and if you don't know it, you're going to teach yourself something.
Yeah, I think I've tried to find the best guys in jiu-jitsu and learn what they do really well as best as I can, even asking them, you know, and that's helped me a lot.
And now here you are. But one of the things too I've noticed, the school got bigger.
Yeah.
The kids class is thriving. The adults love it. The competition class is amazing. Some really great guys coming out of there. Yeah. Then they're winning. They're getting some medals and stuff. But what drives you to compete? And I mentioned you're number 54 in the whole world IBJJF. What is it? Because you're hustling. You're traveling. What drove you? What drives you?
To compete?
Yeah.
Again, jiu-jitsu was a hobby that I was looking for. I found out maybe 3 or 4 months into starting jiu-jitsu that there was tournaments. I was like, yeah. They're like, do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, I'll try a tournament. And then, because I thought I wasn't interested in jiu-jitsu initially because I was worried that it was MMA. I was worried that it was like fighting. Right. And I didn't want to learn fighting. I just wanted to learn some self-defense. But then I started watching these movies about Eliot Gracie and, you know, this old guy. He's like 70, 80, 90 years old. I think he was 90 plus years old at the time. And he was still kind of training with his kids and his grandkids. Right. And he just made jiu-jitsu look really fun. And I was like, when I get old, that's what I want to do. I don't want to go golf. I don't want to go play basketball. I want to do jiu-jitsu with my little kids. Nice. And beat them up and feel good about myself. That was a joke. Yeah, of course. But so the competition, what drives me now is I really enjoy it. Wow. It's so much fun going out there. I love the challenge. The challenge in not knowing what's going to happen makes things exciting. Yeah. And
you're a lifelong competitor too. ever since, you know.
But again, it's not so much the idea of competing, but it's so much, I feel like I really learn a lot when I compete.
Right.
And regardless of my wins or my losses, and I get it's the most satisfying match, win or lose, if I put on a performance. To me, what I'm looking for is a good performance. And that, if 9 times out of 10, if I put on a good performance, I'll probably win.
Right.
If I make some mistakes, even with a good performance, I'll probably win. Sometimes you'll lose, but that's part of the game. So what I've found from that I enjoy the most out of competitions is that it's almost like going on stage to do, to go give a performance,
like
or
a demonstration,
show.
huh?
A demonstration, really? Or if you're in theater, similar to that, you have to memorize your lines, but sometimes you forget your lines and you gotta
improvisation.
You gotta improv, right? Yeah. So I think there's a lot of similarities to that. At the same time, I think there's, people make that chess analogy, right? You can prepare and study the moves, but ultimately you have to put on your best performance. Right. If you're nervous or you're tight, you're not going to perform as well as if you're relaxed and you're, you have a free thinking, flowing mind.
Yeah. So that's been fun about, being one of your students, and is just the philosophy behind it too. Yeah. And even I come back, and I just came back recently, and I go, man, I'm having a tough time. It's like, and then you just kind of broke it down. You're just like, well, when you come back, you're learning how to swim. Just take it easy. It's like, oh, okay, duh. So stuff like that. It's cool and it's deep. And we're running out of time, but I want to do some rapid fire questions for you, and then do some shout outs for you for your sponsor. So, book that you've given away the most.
Oh, jeez. Mind Gym.
Mind Gym.
Yeah.
All right. Read it. We'll have to check that out. How come you didn't give it to me? No, anyway. Favorite movies?
Jeez. I like Forrest Gump.
Yeah. Forrest Gump. All right. Your morning routine?
Morning routine? Hit snooze.
Yeah. Okay.
I shouldn't, but
no,
sometimes
you're not out.
No, I am, but I have to be here by 6 a.m.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So hit snooze. I've been getting better about that. I want to change that. I don't want to hit snooze, but typically wake up at 5, get my day going. When I'm teaching, I get to school by 7 o'clock. It's about 40 minute commute. 6:30, 7 o'clock. If I'm teaching jiu-jitsu here, I'm, out the door by 5:30, 5:20 to get here by 10 till 6.
All right. When you think of success, who do you think of? Who pops into your mind?
Jeez, man. Who do I think of?
Yeah, I steal these questions from other people. So
Success. I don't know.
Okay. See, I wanted to stump you.
Yeah, I'm stumped, man. It's not really success. What is, in terms of what? Jiu-jitsu?
Anything.
My teacher, Marcos Torregrosa.
Yeah.
He's very successful.
We got to have him on here.
Yeah, you do.
Yamaso Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's his team.
Yep.
Marcos Torregrosa.
He has a school in Sacramento. The best jiu-jitsu, Buchecha, Marcus Almeida. A guy that I'm trying to like study and learn from. I like Paulo Coelho.
Oh yeah,
he's got a lot of cool books.
He's awesome. Paulo Coelho, the Alchemist.
Michael Jordan. I'm just gonna keep.
All right. Well, we got to wrap it up, man. EDHBJJ.com. That's where you can find Eliot. Look him up on social media. He's all over there. His curriculum is going to be coming out. Some really cool stuff. I wanted to thank Daniel Jamison for our tech guy to get all this going.
Thanks, Daniel.
So phenomenal underdogs, man. So this is our show. Who do you want to? You got some very people that help you support you.
Yeah.
Who do you want to do some shout outs to?
Gyms, Yamaso BJJ, El Dorado Hills Jiu-Jitsu, and let's see. I always visit Brea Jiu-Jitsu in Southern California.
Nice.
Let's see. My sponsors on the mat would be AK Armors Kimonos, Kumainu Apparel. Let's see. Also, I have a strength and conditioning coach, One Body strength and performance. Who else do we have?
It's good stuff.
I think that's it.
That's good stuff. Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you so much. We're going to have next time, we'll have you on again.
Okay.
This is Phenomenal Underdogs. Thank you guys for joining. Peace out.
Peace out.